Perspective Class 12 Video 2. In this video we're going to talk about linear perspective. In particular we're going to talk about how vanishing points are used in linear perspective. We know from previous videos that if you centrally project a line, sometimes you end up getting a vanishing point. Moreover, we know that parallel lines have the same vanishing points. So let's write this as a theorem. Under central projection, every line that is not parallel to the viewing plane has a vanishing point. So this is just a technicality, and it's if the line is actually parallel to the viewing plane, then there is no vanishing point. But in some sensible manner, most lines, almost all lines, have vanishing points. Okay, and the important thing to keep in mind is parallel lines have the same vanishing point. Parallel lines have the same vanishing point. Okay. So why is this a useful thing? Well, if you're using linear perspective to draw a picture, and your picture and the subject of your picture has parallel lines, then to work out how to draw those lines, you can use vanishing points. You can use vanishing points to help know how to draw parallel lines under central projection, i.e. with linear perspective. So let's look at a very simple example. This is a cube. So this cube has a bunch of parallel lines, like these red lines here in real life are parallel. And if you want to know how to draw them with linear perspective, you look at the vanishing point, and you know that each one of these lines has the same vanishing point. So you sort of connect them up to the vanishing point. And then you have the similar story with the blue lines. So these blue lines are parallel as well. And you have a different vanishing point up here. And then finally with the yellow, these yellow lines right here are parallel. And this is a vanishing point. Okay. And you use these vanishing points to tell to help you guide how to draw these line segments. Okay, so this is a very simple example. We can look at a slightly more complex example. Like this is a sketch of a living room or something like this, and there's a bunch of parallel lines going on. Like there's a vanishing point on the horizon in the distance which sort of corresponds to all of these parallel lines, all of these lines which are leading away from the observer, all have the exact same vanishing point. Okay, they all have the exact same vanishing point. So that's one vanishing point, but there's a bunch of other vanishing points as well. For example, this couch has a bunch of parallel lines, and so does this futon looking thing. Okay, all these parallel lines, they have a vanishing point. In this particular picture, you can't see the vanishing point. The vanishing point is probably somewhere like over here. It's outside of the frame of the picture, but that's okay. It still exists. This is a vanishing point. All these lines converge to that vanishing point. And then you can see other vanishing points as well if you look. So, like the other direction of this futon seems to be leading this way, and all of these lines will converge to some vanishing point which is also outside of the frame. So here's another vanishing point. Okay, but the point is, it's important when you're trying to use linear perspective to make these drawings, is you want to establish your vanishing points at the beginning and then use your vanishing points to draw these lines. So right at the beginning you establish that I want a vanishing point out here, and then you draw these lines to help you work out what do the parallel lines look like in your picture. And then you establish the blue vanishing point is out here, and then the red vanishing point is over here. Okay, so this is another picture where vanishing points are very useful, and in this one I think it's apparent that there's 3 vanishing points. So things can get even more technical. Like this is a very technical drawing of some stairs, And they've used vanishing points extensively in this case, right? Like I can see multiple vanishing points. So this is a vanishing point, this is a vanishing point. There is a vanishing point living over here, which you can't quite see because it's outside a frame. There's another one living to the left, which again you can't quite see. There's going to be one living all the way up here, and there's going to be another one living up here somewhere. Okay, so there's many vanishing points in this picture, and that corresponds to the fact that there's many different types of parallel line. Like there's this parallel line, there's one going the other way, there's some diagonal ones, there's ones going this way. There's many different types of parallel line, and every set of parallel lines has its own vanishing point. Okay, so this is a highly technical drawing done using linear perspective. And that's the end of this video.